Hi everyone, this is Diego speaking for the networking section. Today we're going to go over IP addresses in Subnet Mask. The first thing you want to do is go to the 1941 router, which is in the network devices. From here you're going to grab this, you're going to place it down, uh, and you're going to go to end devices next, which is right next to network devices. So you're going to go click on that, you're going to go to PC, place this down, and I'm just showing you a demo, and then I'll give you an activity later for you to do. But the first thing you want to do is you want to go to, from there you want to go to connections, and you don't want to automatically choose connection type because during the actual competition you will not be able to use this. But you want to grab a copper straight through, and you just want to click on the gigabyte Ethernet 0 and just from the router, and then you just want to go to the PC and you want to click on fast Ethernet. So now you have a connection. Now this symbol right here is showing that it doesn't look like it has a connection at all, but if you go into click on the router and go to CLI, and you can just type in no, enter, and then you can just do ENA, which stands for enable, and because CLI stands for command line interface right here, and this is what you're going to be using for each competition to travel through the routers and ultimately configure it through switches and such and more on. From there you're going to do configure terminal. Also you can do conf t. For now I'm just doing the larger. And then from here what you're going to want to do is if you hold shift and click on your question mark, it's going to show all of your commands, and from here you can just click enter, and it'll when you enter it'll show all of them, but if you space it'll show more at once. And once you're here, then you're gonna look through here and you're gonna click you're not gonna click on anything, but you're gonna type in interface, sorry. I'm gonna do interface, and then whatever the router's interface is, which is gigabyte Ethernet. And what you can do from there is if you type in the first part, which is gig, and then click tab, it'll type in the rest for you, so it's efficiency. From there you can do 0/0 because we put it in the 0/0, and then you'll click enter. Now we're in the gigabyte Ethernet interface, and from here you can put in the IP. So the first thing you want to do is do IP address, and then from what we're just gonna put 192.168.1.1, and it doesn't matter, you can put 0.1 as long as it's not 0.0. So you always want to have one number at the end. So I'm just gonna have 1.1, and from here you're gonna put the subnet mask. The first thing you want to do is just do 255.255.255.0. So mainly all 192 and 192.168 addresses and 172.16 addresses will usually use the 255.255.0, and sometimes for serial routers, which I'll go into that in a different time, they'll use 255.0.0.0. But for now we're just going to do the 24-bit address. You're just going to click enter, and that's what you'll manually use. And then from here what we can do is if we type in no shut down, it will make the port status from off to on. So, whereas it says change state to up, line protocol on interface gave by 0, change the state to up, and then you can just click enter. And that's how you make a router on. And from here, what you also can do is if you type in exit, or if you just do EX, either way, you can start putting in basic commands such as the username. So if you want to change the username to R1, so R1 is how we're gonna be the router 1. So each router is gonna have different types of names. So R1, R2, just so it's all organized, because in networking and specifically in packet tracer, you want to make sure everything is organized. So for this, in this case, we're gonna have R1 because that's the router 1. Now, and you just click enter, and it may not show it there, but if we do host name R1, it shows R1. So the username, if you go, will be like if you were to connect to a account and make a password. Like, what would it be? That's just your username. Your host name is basically what the router is gonna identify as. So in this case, the host name is R1. Now, this can also be the same for switches and PCs. So you may have a switch as S1, just because it's the first letter and then the number of which one it is. Servers can be, servers are a little bit more complicated. You just have the actual name of the server, and then sometimes you can just put 1, or you can do SW for switches. It doesn't matter really too much, as long as you just know where it is and then know how many there are. Some other stuff I would like to show you is the enable password, and from here you can just basically make a password. So we can have it as Cisco. So now the password is Cisco, so when we log in, it's going to want us to type in Cisco. And what you also can do is enable secret, and then put Cisco 1. And this is the encrypted version of that password. So there's two different types of passwords. There is the encrypted, and then there is the regular password. So if you were to go to, if we were to exit this, because right now we're in like the whole configuring the terminal, and we're just going into like not like just turning it on and just looking through settings and stuff. If we go here, you can just click on, do the exclamation mark right there. It'll show all your commands, and then you can do don't know why it's not working. Oh, running config, because so running config basically shows everything that's happened so far in the actual computer itself. So like I said, the secret password's right here, and see how it's all encrypted, so we don't know what it is, but the regular password is right here. It also shows the host name, and some more information of such as the spanning tree is a different process, but in VLANs, I'll go over some of that stuff later on. But for now, we're just going to go into IP. So, for example, the IP address for the Ethernet 0.0 is 192.168. Right here. Now, there can be multiple IP addresses, but they just can't be the same thing. So if I was to put a IP address for the gateway 0.0/1, it'd have to be like 1.1.2 or 2.1. Doesn't matter, it just can't be the same. So you can have the starting of it 192.168 the same, but you just can't have the last two. Some other cool things also I wouldn't recommend, but you can, if sometimes you get lost, this is like the, let's say, Windows type version of CLI. So this is more like the Linux stack, the actual stuff itself, which is more efficient, and usually you can access more things with this. But there is also the basically Windows version, and it basically does everything that CLI does, but you're just clicking on it, so it'll just take you to things a little bit quicker, so you don't have to type it. I don't recommend using this because ultimately it gets a little more, if you don't understand how to do this, then it's not really great to just rely on this, because then you to add things or change things, such as here, it gets a little more complicated. You can also change the display name, which would be like R1. So now it would be R1 over here. And that's basically it. I will go over switches and VLANs in the next tutorial. And you will be getting a demo activity. I will give you a list of commands to do, so you understand how to do it, and from there you can just complete it on your own time. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.